They are sure that Robert was not the intended victim. They also say they found possible evidence of gambling there at the scene.
Boy Scouts, a doctor, and claims of sexual abuse at camp. New at 9, the past coming back to haunt a popular pediatrician. And now, an even more disturbing discovery, a possible cover-up that kept him close to kids. Our Brandon Cruz is here with more details coming out in an LA Times article. Brandon?
Well, Dr. Kowalski was the chairman of health and safety for Milwaukee County Council and was one of the authors of the Wisconsin laws on child abuse, according to the Times article. In an internal news advisory in July of 1987 from the Boy Scouts headquarters, Kowalski admits to making sexual advances to two 16-year-old boys at a summer camp. He was removed from his position with the Boy Scouts after this. However, he continued to practice as a pediatrician in the Milwaukee area.
What happened? How did this happen?
Peter Isley, the Midwest director of SNAP, an advocacy group for people abused by clergy, sees an all too familiar pattern of covering up sexual abuse after reading an article published in Sunday's Los Angeles Times about the Boy Scouts covering up molestation allegations against its volunteers and employees, including a Milwaukee area pediatrician, Dr. Thomas Kowalski.
This is a problem that exists within not society, they say society, but it exists within the system, the power structures of society.
In an internal news advisory from the Boy Scouts obtained by the Times, it says Kowalski was removed from his volunteer position with the Scouts after making sexual advances to two 16-year-old boys at a summer camp in Wisconsin. It also says Kowalski admitted masturbating while fondling the two boys. Wisconsin scouting officials reported the incidents to police as required by state law, but the parents chose not to press charges.
No private organization should be sitting on files containing criminal evidence of children being sexually assaulted.
We went to Kowalski's Greendale home, but nobody answered. However, Kowalski spoke with the Times and said that he had received psychiatric counseling for years and had never reoffended. He added, had that been publicized, I would have been out of business, reputation destroyed, and I don't know how I would have faced people at church.
It calls for an investigation as to what has happened since.
The internal news advisory also said that an unnamed publisher of local newspapers was aware of the abuse but wouldn't pass on the information to his editors. Isley has emailed District Attorney John Chisholm about these claims, and he's hoping that the DA's office will look into this case and into the Boy Scouts to see if there was anything done illegally on their part and try to fix the problems now. Brad?
Brandon, thank you. An angry ex-boyfriend and a butcher knife.
A woman on the ground screaming in pain. New court papers paint a grisly picture of that stabbing at